Let me tell you a story. It's a few months ago, and I've just increased how many eggs I eat per day. I usually have about 4, but I'm trying right now to increase it to 10. And the effect that it's had on my testosterone, I'm trying to sleep and it's the middle of the night. It literally feels like I'm a teenager again because I am rock hard. Okay, it's probably just a placebo, whatever. Same thing happens the next day. Same thing happens the next day. Interestingly, the next day, I don't have 10 eggs anymore. I have back to 4 and the effect goes away. Then I have 10 again the next day and the effect comes right back again. I realize as I'm there tossing and turning, trying to sleep, not wanting to reset my nofap streak, that the foods that we eat can have such a big difference. And the only difference is like the equivalent of 6 eggs. There's foods that you can eat, which are affordable, easy to cook, that will have such a big impact to the point that you feel like a teenager who can't even sleep because he's got like such a hard erection, which is like such an awesome feeling. And never mind the impact that it's going to have on your confidence, lowering anxiety, making hard work feel good, more competitiveness, more muscle gain, less soreness, less body fat, more masculinity. The first food that I want to tell you about is specifically ribeye steaks. So you've probably heard before, testosterone manly food is like steak, fine, but there's so many different cuts of steaks, so like types of steak. There's rump and sirloin and ribeye, and there's so many different cuts, right? This cuts just mean like which part of the animal it's from. I did not know how many extra calories are in ribeye steak compared to everything else. So I've tracked my calories on MyFitnessPal. Rump steak has got like 300 250 calories. This one's got like 300 200. A ribeye steak has more like 800. When my friend said that to me, when I asked him about how many it would have, I was like, no, it won't. I've seen steaks before. It's like there's 200, 300 calories in one. A ribeye steak has literally like 5 times more fat than some of the other ones. So like one that I have in a restaurant here in Bali every day is 800 calories, 60 grams of fat. That is super, super good for testosterone. The reason why, I don't know the full science explanation, but basically, when we have more fat in our diet, that really helps us to boost our testosterone. Never mind also that red meat itself, like meat from like cows, seems to also have some kind of testosterone boost in itself as well. So if you have a ribeye steak a few times a week, or preferably maybe daily, that can really increase your testosterone. I'm having 2 of these per day now, which means that I'm having 1,600 calories in steak alone, never mind also the extra butter that we put onto there as well. A quick tip, I didn't write this down for one of the foods I was going to tell you about, but in this meal that I have, the ribeye steak in this restaurant, I also put on bone marrow as well. So inside of the restaurant, they have like bone marrow. So imagine a big bone like this, and it's kind of like almost like this fatty texture in the middle of the bone that you scrape off, and I scrape it and put it onto the steak as if it's like butter itself. And they put like a bit of like mature cheese or crispy cheese over it as well. Absolutely delicious. It's like 1,800 calories for this meal, and it's just fat and protein, just pure testosterone building food. The second thing you can eat, like I mentioned before, is eggs. So I heard once from a study, I can't find it, bro. You search it if you want to, or just take my word for it, that having about 4 eggs a day will maximize the cholesterol that you needed to like essentially hit your testosterone goals. Basically, eat 4 eggs every single day for the rest of your life. I've done that for a long time, and I've always felt like relatively good, energetic, whatever. I feel a significant difference when I have 10 eggs instead. I don't know if it's just a placebo, it probably is, but specifically when I have 10 eggs, not 6, not 8, but 10, I have the biggest, most notable difference in like symptoms of testosterone that I've had with any other food. So for me, sometimes if I'm really thinking about testosterone and stuff, I'll focus on getting 10 eggs in a day. Scrambled, fried, whatever you want is absolutely fine. Just get the 10 eggs, or at least get 4 per day. So you can say this to your parents right now, especially with eggs, they're cheap around the world. Tell your parents if they can just make you like 4 eggs per day, or you cook for yourself. Just 4, it's very easy to make eggs. That's why I really like them, because the scrambled eggs, literally like you can make it as a brain dead guy. Literally just get the pan, put it on the stove, put the heat up, put butter on there, crack 4 eggs. It doesn't even have to be nice. A lot of the times if I'm cooking it myself, like the eggshell will fall in, whatever, just scrape it out, it doesn't matter, and literally just like move it all around till it looks like a good texture that you think would be tasty. That's it. Literally 3-4 minutes and it's done. It's like literally brain dead friendly, and you've got a meal which is going to increase your testosterone. Again, I don't know the real sciencey things, but I know that so many people online say there's like good cholesterol, bad cholesterol. I personally don't really believe in any of that. I believe that these foods are super healthy. I believe that these are the foods that we should be eating. So I don't worry at all about anything that like some fat doctor tells me about, like LDL cholesterol, good cholesterol, heart attack, whatever. I don't believe any of it. I believe man was supposed to eat meat. He was supposed to eat eggs. He is supposed to eat these things. So I have no fear at all that this is like bad for my health. Maybe you disagree. Maybe there's some vegan, or maybe there's some like science guy who's going to say, well, actually there's a I don't care. This is what works for me. The third kind of food that you can eat for testosterone is nuts. Now, in the book, The 4-Hour Body by Tim Ferriss, he mentions that he was able to triple his testosterone with a very simple protocol where he was basically just having 3 Brazil nuts in the morning, 3 Brazil nuts at nighttime, and 20 almonds specifically before he was going to have sex. There's a bit of research in this. The fat in these foods itself is going to have like a nice impact on your testosterone. But it seems to me that there's key things inside of the almonds and the Brazil nuts especially, I forgot what it's called, serinium or something, that basically is like, it's kind of like these minerals and nutrients that will actually help your body to produce more testosterone as it is. So again, I don't know the sciencey stuff, but literally if you just want to have the brain dead protocol, have a handful of nuts every day, specifically Brazil nuts and almonds. In this book, he mentioned that he did this a few hours before having sex, and that had the biggest increase for him. So if you are planning to, for example, make love with a woman, or if you want to go and hit a big workout and you want to hit a PR, you might want to have these almonds like 3 hours before the workout, because apparently that's going to have an extra boost for you. In the same book, Just So We Take This Seriously, the same author, which I believe was like 10 years ago, he talked about the issue of having your phone in your pocket and why that kills sperm cells. That was 10 years ago. Only recently scientists have now been proving that to be correct. So this guy, this entrepreneur, this author, Tim Ferriss, he's been spot on with things that he said a decade ago, which only now scientists are coming up with. So when he says something like, oh yeah, eat 20 almonds before you have sex, it's like, I'm actually going to listen to that, because I remember reading his book years ago where he mentioned that having your phone in your pocket would decrease your sperm count and basically make you infertile. And I didn't really take it seriously. And that's exactly what's happening now. I was like clinically infertile when I got my first ever sperm test. Like you might want to go get a sperm test as well. Many men are infertile without knowing. And my numbers were so low. The only change I made was I stopped keeping my phone in my pocket because I remembered what this author said. And my sperm actually tripled. And it was like absolutely fine now. So if he said a while ago, yep, almonds and Brazil nuts. Bro, I'm eating almonds and Brazil nuts all day now. I've talked to you about some things you can eat, but actually what's more important is things you should not consume. And the first one is tap water. So in many countries around the world, like people actually drink the tap water like for their normal source of water. What you don't realize is there is a chemical inside of the tap water that decreases testosterone and causes a lot of hormonal problems in both men and women. The chemical comes from the birth control pill. So you know how many women will take the birth control pill every single day, and that basically stops them from being able to get pregnant. More plates, more dates. Derek, he basically said that the birth control pill was almost like chemical castration for women. Parts of that stays inside the water that we drink if it's tap water. It's not filtered out. This is, in my opinion, one of the biggest crises that no one is talking about. It's not filtered out in any country. So what you need is either just drink from like glass bottles. So for example, I'm in Bali right now and I move around and stuff. So I'm always drinking from just like glass bottles, not plastic, because plastic's also unhealthy as well. But when you have your own base, let's say you live at home right now, you can look into buying what's called a reverse osmosis water filter. You can have that put into your sink. It might cost like a few $100s to get this, so it's something you and your whole family can save up for. And when I got it into mine, basically, it kind of looks like a big gaming desktop PC. Like it's like this. It's got like this big, for example. You put it in underneath your sink, drill like a hole into your sink, and like you basically have another tap, and that will be clean filtered water that won't decrease your testosterone, that won't harm the women in your life or anything like this, because we're only talking about testosterone. Fine. When you want to have a child and your woman's drinking tap water and that tap water is polluted with the same chemical that women take the birth control for, think about how fucked that is. Women take a pill that stops them from being pregnant, but that pill's chemical stays in our water system when they pee. and your future wife, while she's pregnant with your child, drinks that water. I believe this is why we're seeing like an uptick of women who are pregnant and they lose the baby and the baby passes away whilst it's still inside of them. Gotta be careful. Very much gotta be careful. What a fucking horrible experience that must be. I know that getting this water filter might seem like out of your scope. It might not be affordable or anything, but it's just something that if you want to go onto like Amazon or something right now and just search for one reverse osmosis water filter, they'll all like a few $100s. And it's just something you can consider kind of like, okay, this is like an investment into my health. I'm going to work hard so that I can buy this for my family. And you know, your family, let's be honest, they're probably not going to take it seriously. They're probably not going to believe you when you say this stuff to them. But this is something you can take responsibility for. Because now I have everyone in my family drinking from this one. It's like I've told them all, like, don't use the big tap anymore. At least not for like drinking straight. You know, for washing some dishes and stuff, maybe it's okay. But when it comes to like actually drinking water, all of my family now use the reverse osmosis tap. So it's like I've just increased my family's health with just this purchase that I was able to save up for because I worked hard on my business. And the other thing you can avoid is soy and flaxseed. So you've probably heard online, you know, the concept of like soy boy and insults and everything, and everyone's debating, is soy bad for you? Is it not? Is flaxseed or something? Again, all the scientists, little nerds, can disagree and agree and show papers and stuff. The way I see it is, if there is a food like that has such a level of evidence that shows that it actually decreases your testosterone, it increases your estrogen, the female sex hormone, then I don't like soy enough to think that, yeah, I'm gonna fight for it and keep it in my diet. If a lot of research is showing that it is estrogenic and it does decrease testosterone, I just will never have it again. I don't care. I barely was having soy before this, like, ever anyway. So soy and flaxseed, from the book Estrogeneration, soy and flaxseed have by far the highest estrogenic compound. What this means is basically they increase your female sex hormone the most. So if you just don't have soy and flaxseed, you should be fine. They have, like, by far, literally, like, I think it was 100 times more estrogenic effect than like the next food over. So the next one was like sesame seed, but that was like actually a fairly like normal, healthy level. For reference, my girl specifically has flaxseed because she believes it makes her titties bigger. So think about this. Women eat soy and flaxseed on purpose to get bigger titties. And here's some guys eating it and saying, no, it doesn't decrease testosterone. Why would you risk it, bro? Why would you even risk it? That food's not even that nice anyway. Just like if you're in the restaurant, there's some flaxseed shit, tell them take it out. If you see some like soy drink, like, you know, most protein bars are Coke, by the way. You know, most protein bars, the protein inside of them is literally soya. The protein inside of most protein bars is not protein whey. It's this shit. So I haven't had a protein bar in like a year. It's just unfortunate because sometimes they're delicious and they're nice to have on trips and stuff. It's from soy protein. Can't have shit, bro. So a lot of like vegan food has a lot of like soy and flaxseed and stuff. Just avoid it, no problem. Go have your ribeye, go have your eggs. Even if you are like vegan or something, like pea protein will be absolutely fine for you. I'll give you one final tip before we go. It's not about the food that you can eat, but it's actually the clothes that you wear. You want to be wearing natural ingredients, which is basically like cotton. So when you buy clothes, you want to be looking at the label and you want it to say 100% cotton. You specifically don't want to wear the clothes which have got like plasticky feel. You know, like that sort of gym, football shirt feel. A lot of gym clothes are made from what's called polyester, and that is actually estrogenic. So that when you warm up, it will literally kind of like seep into your skin and basically increase your estrogen hormone. You don't want to wear that clothes. So you'll only ever see me wearing like this type of like natural cotton clothing like this. And this is fine to wear. Even this sometimes has like weird chemical shit and, you know, all of that stuff. But you really don't want to be wearing the standard gym clothing that most guys are wearing. Like, you know, those like plasticky, like shorts, plasticky shirt or vest or something. Just have a look. If it's polyester, it's estrogenic. It will literally like increase your chances of getting literally gyno and stuff like that. And often when I say this stuff, people think that I'm like exaggerating. Just like, I'm saying this for your health and for your benefit. When I found out too late, I was 26 years old, 25 years old when I heard about this stuff. If you're a young guy right now, research estrogenics. Go read the book Estrogeneration by Dr. J. Might make you pissed off at the world, because the reason why many men are so effeminate, so weak, docile, struggle to get like a hard dick, it's because our hormones have been so fucked from these like substances that are out in the world, whether it comes from our food or now it's coming from literally the clothes that we wear. And of course, you can imagine, this is common sense, if there's a clothes that we're wearing which are made from material that's unhealthy, getting hot and sweaty in that clothing is the exact opposite thing that you want to do. So 100% cotton clothing. You still look nice. There's still clothes that are, look really nice. Just don't risk it with that plasticky polyester shit. Your actionable step for this video is to choose one of the foods that I've mentioned, especially the ones that you can eat. So ribeye, eggs, nuts, and just go and have one serving of that right now. Maybe you've got some nuts in the house right now that you can have. You can even order nuts online. Like if you're in UK or US, you can often hop onto like Uber Eats or something and they'll deliver you some nuts. You go to the store, buy like a pack of almonds or Brazil nuts. Maybe you have some extra eggs today. Maybe you want to try and have 10 eggs today and just see if you have the effect that I was talking about. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.